In solving the Kenyan question, you know, a lot of nations have had problems like Kenya has. And I want to give a few examples why the mountain and the lake must talk. In a lot of countries, you must identify what the Marxists like calling, and Oburu would know this, contradiction. What is the major contradiction? When you're addressing a national question, like a country like Kenya, which is the major contradiction? In South Africa, it was racism. They had to deal with that contradiction in South African society. In Ireland, Northern Ireland and Ireland itself, it was the struggle between religious sects. You know, the Catholics and the Protestants. It was not easy. In India, which Gandhi resolved, that's why Gandhi said religion is not, there's no state religion in India. It was between the Hindus and the Muslims. And you find India has got the second highest population of Islams. But you don't find a lot of things happening in India where there are radical elements in Islamic societies. And similarly, if you go to the United States, you could find those kind of contradictions. In Kenya, the major contradiction has been between the lake and the mountain. If we don't solve that question, Kenya is likely to go to the dogs. And we are not being exclusive. So the mountain must talk to the lake in trying to address this major contradiction, which can sometimes become violent, is the national and political question in Kenya. And I know with the handshake, we are getting there because we want to create an inclusive society. So the handshake is not about this major contradiction by itself, but is trying to address the national question. Now, finally, I want you to remember how Kenya was. Some of you are too young to know. In 2007, Kenya was burning. In 2013, 2017, Kenya was burning. And we needed an intervention to bring that to an end. And I do not know where we can find two statesmen, where a president who was already in State House is ready and willing to talk to his major rival, not about forming government, you know, not about forming government, but about bringing peace into the country. And you have Baba here who was fighting to go to State House and saying, we can put that on hold and talk about Kenya. And have nothing about sharing of power. Makofi kwa Baba na Uhuru. And I think this was the moment at which we should have gotten together to make sure that the handshake is driven to a successful end. But unfortunately, one time when I was in the Senate, I was talking about dysfunction in Uhuru's government. And that dysfunction has been brought out about by the pursuit of power. Because the most important function of the vice president or the deputy president is to assist the president. I invite you to look at the Constitution. The deputy president has no other powers other than to assist the president. So if he is not assisting the president, he is not doing his duties under the law. It does not say that, you know, the president will work with the deputy president. It says the deputy president shall assist. So there's a gross constitutional violation, and we must bring this to an end. I want us to keep on meeting. We want to defend this handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga to the end. And I know if sometimes you don't meet political objectives by going to parliament, I can tell you, or going to the courts. I'm a lawyer, I'm a senior counsel. But there are times in the life of a nation where you address a political question by going to the people directly. And I'm hoping we are going to have this conversation together, the leadership here, and together go around Kenya and go to the people to make sure that even in this 1 year, in which Uhuru is still president of the Republic of Kenya, something can be done for this country. And if there is anybody trying to tear Kenya apart, we can go back to the people and make his life extremely miserable. Me, I'm not sure I'm good in court, but I'm very good in the street. I'm very good in the street. And a lot of people will tell you. A lot of people will tell you. So I wish you success. This leadership, from what I've heard from you, let us work together and make Kenya great.
That there will be the law on detention without trial will not be removed. And we said it must happen, and it happened. But it did not happen without struggle. People struggled, people died. Jim here was telling you how they were beaten, and he will tell you more. My brother Raila was detained and jailed for more than 80 years, not because he was a thief, not because he was a robber, but because he wanted changes. Where has Ruto suffered? Has he ever suffered anything? Has he ever been detained? Has he ever struggled? Apart from I hear burning some church in Eldoret, I never. Yeah, at Kiamba, burning people there. I never heard that Ruto really suffered in the struggle for any change. And when we were making this constitution in 2010, the one which he now says is a very good constitution, Ruto was leading the no campaign. He was leading the no campaign. Now how comes he is now saying that these people want to destroy a very good constitution? This same constitution, which he is now saying is good, why was it bad in 2010? 2010 is just the other day. And today he is saying it is a very, very good one. No, this is a demagogue. You know, demagoguery. You know what demagoguery means? Demagoguery means you try to propel something which you are not. And you try, as an oppressor, a former oppressor, now wants to be the liberator of the people. How can you oppress them, and then the other day you are now saying you are the one who has a solution? You have a solution, and you have been in government for 7 years, and you have not done anything that you want to do in another 5 or 10 years. Why can't you do it now? Why didn't you do it since you were elected? So I say we don't want this country to go back to the dogs. We want this country to move forward with young people like you taking the mantle and getting the clear picture of what this country has been and what this country is today. I'm sure this country is going to go very, very far. Because some of us have ideas, but we are soon going to see our Maker very soon. We are not very far from Jesus Christ. Only that we don't want to be called there before our files are ready. we don't want to go too early. But I saw what is happening here in 1963 when I was a student. And Kenyatta was with Jaramogi. That time, the Mount Kenya and the Lake region were together like one. And we were also doing student elections like this. But when they differed later, and based on ideology, not on tribal basis, people mistook it to be tribalism. And people started again fighting each other. But for all those years that has gone on, the country has had tension. But now that again there has been a handshake, and Raila and Uhuru saw it fit that we come together and we do the handshake and we bring peace to this country, I'm sure, is going to come together, and we are going to move forward, and a lot of positive changes will take place in this country.
And I'm saying again, I said somewhere, I'm saying again, BBI, we will implement it. Even if we don't implement it now because of the process of the court, we must ourselves here implement the BBI. And I will challenge you, because I've challenged many people. How many of you have read the BBI document from back to back? Be honest. It's not only you. I've even gone to meeting of professors and I've asked them, have you read the BBI document from back to back? So what have we done? We have taken a fantastic document that was going to change this country so that our kids can go to school, our people can get health care, our cities can run, our roads can be okay. And we turned it into a political tool. We changed it very simply. If you support the BBI, you support this group. If you oppose the BBI, you support this group. And nobody has gone in to say, but what is in that BBI you are talking about? That is what we should talk of supporting. Not people. Ideas. Senior counsel will tell you, the days of the young Turks, it has been ideas. The days of Mzee Kenyatta in London, it was ideas. When he came back, what did he have? When he came from prison, what did he have? When Mandela was in prison, what did he have? They had ideas that were to be translated to make life better, and only people with education like you can do that. So let us support the process. Let us support unity. Let us support the handshake. No BBI in the coming elections, but we are going with the handshake. BBI was the baby of the handshake. The baby is a little unwell. We are waiting for the baby to recover. But we are going on with the mother. So let's support Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Amolo Odinga, Baba. And let's get where we are. Don't forget, in 2005, the referendum didn't work. But when they came to power, the referendum was passed. So let them come to power and implement the BBI and get what we want. I feel very passionate about this, and you guys, this is what you have to do. Change the narrative. Hustler. How many have looked at that word in the dictionary, please? You haven't. How many have Googled it? It has 5 meanings. And the nearest to positive is somebody who will get anything at any cost. The next one is a con man. Yeah, you go and look, Google it. The other one is a prostitute. The other one is the one who gets things by unfair means. The one who cheats his friend. Go and look at. How can you young people take that as you are running, as you are crying call?